What it do, peeps? It's your boy Tomer from Taophysique, back to give another video, guys. And today, guys, we are going to be hanging out once again, but I'm also going to be talking about four of the biggest mistakes that I notice that people make when they first start doing intermittent fasting. So if you guys are ready to begin the video, let's go. Okay, so for those of you that care and have been following this channel for a while, I've been dieting for a little bit now. It's been almost about 6 weeks, and I decided I'm probably gonna put an end to this. So I need to give myself a deadline. So for right now, what I'm planning on doing is I'm only gonna diet for the next 4 to 6 weeks. That is it. Once that time limit is done, doesn't matter how lean I am gonna stop so I can move on to pursuing other goals. So today I was 191.8 pounds, which is to be expected because I did go over maintenance for about 4 days, but now we're back on track because your boy is healthy, feeling good, and ready to get shredded. But this video is not about that. This video is about the top mistakes that I know that people make with intermittent fasting. So let's get on with it. Alright guys, so let's get started. So when people first start doing intermittent fasting, they tend to make these 4 big mistakes. The first one is so when a lot of people first start doing intermittent fasting, right, they never give themselves enough time to get used to the new eating schedule, because let's be real, it can be quite hard to get started, and because of this, they tend to just give up. So here's the thing, if you're not used to skipping breakfast and going very long periods without eating, the first few days of doing intermittent fasting are going to be pretty tough, right? You might feel hungry, irritable, and you might actually feel weak. But if you stick with it, it will take your body maximum of 2 weeks and minimum of like 2 to 3 days to get adapted to your new eating style. So if you guys are familiar with the circadian rhythm, your body's natural clock to waking and sleeping cycles, you have the same cycle when it comes to eating. So if you eat at the same time, you tend to get hungry at that same time. So for example, let's just say I always eat at 8 a.m. So when 8 a.m. comes along, automatically you're gonna get hungry. So when you skip those meals, you're gonna be feeling very uncomfortable. But your body is an adaptive machine. The longer you do intermittent fasting, the easier it gets. This is because of a hormone called ghrelin. So ghrelin is in charge of hunger. So when you're doing intermittent fasting, ghrelin will actually change to the times that you do eat. So let's just say, for example, you used to eat at 8 a.m. but all of a sudden you now switch it to 2 p.m. What will happen is after a while, ghrelin will start to spike around 2 p.m. and that's when you're gonna start to get hungry. So like for example, for me, it is currently 1:25 right now, and honestly I don't feel hungry at all because I usually break my fast around 2 to 3 p.m. so I'm good for another 2 hours. And speaking of that, your boy needs to go over to the gym right now because I need to go lift some weights.
Shredded thoughts and makeup will make up for the missing piece of mine. I saw you look.
Alright guys, so we are done with that little workout there really quick. Now let's go home and talk some more, and before then let's go get some food. Alright guys, so there was a change of plans. So apparently this happened.
Flashback.
So I tried to come to the drive-thru, but then look at this. What the hell? Why do they have a car blocking it off? What the? Are they closed?
End of flashback.
Yeah guys, so I was supposed to go over to my favorite place, El Pollo Loco, to get myself my first meal of the day, but unfortunately they were closed, so I'm gonna have to go back a lot later, and now I have no time to even eat my first meal because I have to do a client check-in in like 5 minutes. So what the hell? Oh shoot. But I guess before I do my client check-in, I need to talk about this right here. So the second biggest mistake that I see people do when it comes to intermittent fasting is oh, this seems so relevant right now. They tend to obsess over the clock. So once you get used to intermittent fasting, you can now go long periods of time without eating, right? And I see a lot of people get too hung up on what time they actually break their fast. And guys, look, it really doesn't matter. As long as you try and fast between 14 to 18 hours or 20 hours, you're good to go. Don't really obsess too much about what time you do get to eat. Like for example, today for me right now, I would have liked to have gone to my first meal by now, which is actually 4 o'clock. But unfortunately, things happen and life happens, so I have to adjust. This means that I'm gonna actually push the fast a little bit further because I have work to do. I don't have time to eat right now. So guys, don't obsess too much about the clock. Don't be watching it and be like, oh God, I'm supposed to eat at 2 p.m. but I am hungry at 1 p.m. so I'm gonna wait an hour. Honestly, just eat whenever you feel like it. As long as you're close to your window, like plus or minus 2 hours before your first meal, you're good to go, man. Don't obsess too much about the time. Anyways guys, really, I have to start to work, so I guess I'll catch you guys before my first meal or the third tip. We'll see what that is.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Oh, what up fam? Your boy went to go get some food. So that El Pollo Loco was still closed, so I went to a different one and I went through that drive-thru. And now, you know what I always get from El Pollo Loco? Chicken breast, 2 wings, and 2 churros. Woo! So I'm about to have my first meal of the day, and it is currently it is almost 6 o'clock, guys. Shoot. Usually I break my fast around 2 to 3 p.m. but this was a late one because things came up like I talked about earlier. But anyways, it's all good. I know earlier in this video I was talking about, you know, ghrelin. And when I say ghrelin, I'm not talking about this guy. I'm talking about the hormone called ghrelin. So the hormone called ghrelin, this is what is in charge of hunger signals. So when you do intermittent fasting actually affects the times that ghrelin spikes. So when ghrelin is spiked, it actually helps you learn things faster. So this is something that I did when I was in college. Was I used to break my fast in college every time at 4 p.m. And I noticed that when I was fasted, it was so much easier for me to learn information and retain information. So that is one of the good benefits of intermittent fasting. It helps you with learning as well, and that's all due to ghrelin. Because think about it, it kind of makes sense. It's an evolutionary thing. Let's just imagine you were in the jungle, right? It will make no sense for you to be hungry and for you to become less creative or less energetic. And that's what intermittent fasting does. It actually taps into those primal instincts, and with intermittent fasting, you know that you are more focused during your fast. It is easier for you to learn stuff, and in general, everything is just freaking amazing while you're fasted. So guys, this is a little quick tip. If you're trying to learn something and learn it fast, do it while you're in the fastest state, and you'll be surprised. You actually notice that it's easier for you to retain information. But that's just some random information. I don't know if you guys even care, but this meal leads me into the third tip, guys. What I meant to say was the third biggest mistake that most people do when they start intermittent fasting. But unfortunately, I forgot what that tip is, so I'm supposed to be making a protein shake right now. Oh, what is this? Oh, I guess this is the third biggest mistake. I wonder what it is. Oh yeah, okay. Alright guys, so the third biggest mistake I noticed is when people do intermittent fasting, they tend to eat a lot of junk. Now, just because you're doing intermittent fasting, that does not mean you don't need to pay attention to what actually you put into your body. Yes, intermittent fasting is healthy for you, it can make you healthier, but if you eat crap, you are gonna feel like crap. So I notice a lot of people, when they first start doing intermittent fasting, they feel like they can stuff their face with donuts, burgers, and all kinds of stuff, because as long as they're doing intermittent fasting, it means they don't need to watch what they eat. This is simply not true, guys. food quality still matters. You need to make sure that you're still eating at least 80% of your diet on processed foods, and 20% can be processed, because I believe in balance, guys. I don't think everything 100% needs to be unprocessed, because that can make your life a little bit boring. Let's be real. I do like my Oreos. I love me some ice cream as well. And if you told me I couldn't ever eat ice cream again, I'd probably be like, man, forget this fitness thing, man. It's a waste of time. It's all about balance. So when you're doing intermittent fasting, stay away from the junk. Be balanced, guys. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna put the macros of this protein shake right here. All right, let's actually make this thing. Alright peeps, you know what time it is. It is time to have dinner at the dinner table. This is where we end every single video. Today what I have is, I have 12 ounces of chicken with some curry sauce. Again, I use Pam on the pan so that I don't have any extra calories. And I have my veggies with some bell peppers, mushrooms, some onions in there. I think I have onions in there, I'm not sure. And to round it off, I put on some sriracha. And then I also have some sweet potato fries. So unfortunately, I put them in the oven a little bit too long, so they came out a little bit more crispy than I would have liked. But with that, I put in like half a tablespoon of sesame oil, some Cajun seasoning, and some cilantro, guys. This stuff is mwah. And then for dessert, I have myself a Klondike bar, guys. Ooh, I could fit it into my macros for today. So with that, I'm gonna put the macros of this meal, this final meal right here. And I'm also going to put the macros of the entire day right here. Which now leads me to the last and final mistake that I know a lot of people make when they're doing intermittent fasting. I wonder what that could be. Drum roll. They think it is magic. I noticed this, a lot of people that start doing intermittent fasting, they think that to lose fat, all they need to do is intermittent fasting, that if they compress the eating window, all of a sudden, they're gonna get shredded. Guys, that is not how it works. Intermittent fasting is great, but what is gonna get you shredded and what is gonna make you lose fat is being in a caloric deficit. Now, if you eat too much while you're doing intermittent fasting, you can actually still gain weight. So, I know a lot of people would think that they don't really need to pay attention to their macros or their calories. That is not true, guys, especially when you hit a plateau. That is the time where you need to start tracking your calories and tracking your macros more seriously, unless you're gonna see no progress. So guys, intermittent fasting, it ain't magic. It's great, it's a tool to help you lose weight by making you feel more satisfied on less calories, but just by focusing on your eating window alone and not paying attention to calories, you're not gonna see much progress. So guys, that is the video. Those are the 4 biggest mistakes that I see people make when it comes to intermittent fasting. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you do, go ahead and give it a woo thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, go ahead and subscribe already, because you know it is cool up in here. And for my fellas, don't forget who we do it for, guys. The ladies. Peace.